just push it a little bit so this camera is... Yes. Yeah, good. Thank you. Close it if you want. I want to be upfront with you. Everything I'm about to share in this video is built around investors with at least $50,000 ready to put to work. If you're not there yet, that's fine. This will still be here when you are. But if you do have the capital and it's sitting in the Western market giving you 3% yield, taxed, regulated, and appreciating slower than inflation, then what I'm about to show you is going to be unforgettable. Close it if you want. I want to be upfront with you. Everything I'm about to share in this video is built around investors with at least $50,000 ready to put to work. If you're not there yet, that's fine. This is still will be there when you are. But if you do have that capital and it's sitting in the Western market giving you 3% yield, taxed, regulated, and appreciating slower than inflation, then what I'm about to show you is going to be uncomfortable, because the math doesn't work in your favor anymore. It hasn't for a while, and I think on some level you already know that. My name is Bear Mitchell, and I'm the founder of Totality Real Estate, a real estate investment company based in Dubai. I've been building businesses and investing in real estate for 25 years. Toronto, Miami, Panama, and now Dubai, where I moved my entire family because I ran the numbers on... My name is Bear Mitchell, and I'm the founder of Totality Real Estate, a real estate investment company based in Dubai. I've been building businesses and investing in real estate for 25 years. Toronto, Miami, Panama, and now Dubai, where I moved my entire family because when I ran the numbers on every market in the world, this is where the math pointed. I've structured over $3 billion in transactions. I invested my own capital in the market. My kids go to school here. My future is here. I'm not selling you Dubai. I'm telling you what I did and why. Stay with me for the next 10 minutes and I'm going to give you the real picture. Not a pitch, not a hype. The actual market dynamics, the specific opportunities that are open right now, and the process we use to execute without guesswork. At the end, if what I show you makes sense for your situation, there's a way to connect with me directly. We'll have a real conversation, no pressure, no clock. Let's get into it. Let me give you the numbers first, because everything else in this video sits on top of them. Let me give you the numbers first, because everything else sits on top of them. Let me give you the numbers first, because everything else sits on top of it. sits on top of them. Let me give you the numbers first, because everything else in this video sits on top of them. Residential properties in Dubai are up 75% since 2021. Not a specific neighborhood, the city-wide average. Meanwhile, London is flat, Toronto is down from its peak, Sydney is running on fumes. Rental yields in Dubai are running 5 to 8% on well-selected areas. After service charges, after management, net. Compare that to 2.4% in London, 3.1% in Toronto, sub 3% in most Australian capital city markets. Compare that to 2.4% in London, 3.1% in Toronto, sub 3% in most Australian capital city. Compare that to 2.4% in London, 3.1% in Toronto, sub 3%. Compare that to 2.4% in London, 3.1% in Toronto, sub 3% in most Australian capital city markets before tax. And here's the things most people don't understand about tax structure in the UAE. There's no capital, there's no capital, there's no capital, there's no capital gain tax, no income tax. There is no capital gain tax, no income tax on rental earnings, no inheritance tax, and no stamp duty on buyer. The return is calculated the return is the return you keep. Now, some of you will have heard numbers like that before and thought, okay, that sounds like an ad. So let me be direct about where these numbers come from. These are Dubai Land Department figures, published by the regulator, trackable by anyone. I'm not quoting a developer's market brochure. This is the official transaction record for the city. The question isn't whether the numbers are real. They are. The question is whether you're positioned to benefit from them. And right now, most international investors aren't. I want to be clear about who I am and what qualifies me to have this conversation with you. I started in Toronto, built and sold properties sold.ca, one of Canada's earliest for sale by owner real estate tech platforms. Then Panama and Miami, where I was operating during the 2006 and 2008 crash. I watched the bubble collapse in real time. I know what over-leveraged, speculative, under-regulated real estate looks like when it unwinds. I watched the bubble collapse in real time. I know what over-leveraged, speculative, under-regulated real estate looks like when it unwinds. Then I looked at Dubai. I did not move here because someone sold it. I did not move here because someone sold me on it. I moved here because the data was undeniable and structural from the. Then I looked at Dubai. I did not move here because someone sold me on it. I moved here because the data was undeniable and the structural fundamentals, regulatory environment, tax structure, demographic growth, infrastructure. Then I looked at Dubai. I did not move here because someone sold me on it. I moved here because the data was undeniable and the structural fundamentals, regulatory regulatory environment, tax structure, demographic growth, infrastructure spending were unlike anything I have seen in North America, Latin America, or Europe in the last 25 years. Totality Real Estate is RERA licensed. That's the Real Estate Regulatory Agency, the Dubai governing body that licenses brokers and agencies. Our team carries over 90 Our team carries over 90 years of combined Our team carries over 90 year combined Our team carries over 90 combined years of real estate experience across 4 continents. We're structured over $10 billion in transactions. Our clients are in Canada, the UK, the US, Australia, and across Asia. Most have never set foot in Dubai. They came to us with capital, a goal, and a healthy amount of skepticism. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I don't ask anyone to trust me before they've verified everything I've shown them. If you've been investing in real estate for years, seriously, following the rules, and you haven't seen the kind of returns If you've been investing in real estate for years, seriously, following the rules, and you haven't seen If you've been investing in real estate for years, seriously, if you've been investing in real estate for years, following the rules, and you haven't seen the kind of returns I described, that's not a reflection of your intelligence or your work ethics. It's a reflection on the market where you're told to stay in. For decades, the advice was invest where you live, buy local, use familiar brokers, trust the banks you know, and for a long time that worked. Then a few things happened at once. Canada introduced foreign buyer tax, speculation tax, and a vacancy levies. Then a few things happened at once. Canada introduced foreign buyer taxes, speculation taxes, and vacancy levies. Then a few things happened at once. Canada introduced foreign buyer taxes, speculation taxes, and vacancy levies. The UK added surcharges on second properties. The US Fed doubled the rates in 18 months. The US Fed doubled rates in 18 months, the fastest rate cycle in 40 years, and compressed yields below the cost of debt. Suddenly, the safe markets became the expensive ones. Expensive to buy into, expensive to hold, and expensive to exit. Meanwhile, institutional capital was already moving. Sovereign wealth funds, family offices, private equity, they were rotating into markets where the tax structure, the growth runway, and the yield made sense. They were buying in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah 2-3 years ago, before most retail investors even started paying attention. The problem isn't that you missed it. The problem is that the advisor infrastructure around the problem isn't that the advice the problem isn't that you missed it. The problem is that the advisor infrastructure the problem isn't that you missed it. The problem is that the advisor infrastructure around Western real estate, the banks, the media, the local brokers, had a structural incentive to keep your capital in their ecosystem, even when their ecosystem stopped making sense for you. That's the actual obstacle. Not your capital, not your knowledge. The information you have been given was optimized to serve their system, not your returns. tell you specifically why this window matters right now and why filming this in a Let me tell you specifically why this window matters right now and why I'm filming this in a Let me tell you specifically why this window matters right now and why I'm filming this in April 2026. Three infrastructure mega projects are driving the three infrastructure mega projects are dri- three infrastructure mega projects are driving three infrastructure mega projects are driving a repricing cycle across the UAE. That happened that hasn't Three infrastructure mega projects are driving the repricing cycle across the UAE. That hasn't happened before and won't happen again. Each one represents a permanent, non-reversible demand catalyst for the property market around it. Dubai South, Al Maktoum Airport, the UAE government is spending 35 billion to expand Al Maktoum Airport into the world's largest airport by capacity. When completed, it will handle 250 million passengers annually. The residential, commercial, and logistic infrastructure being built around it right now. The residential, commercial, and logistic infrastructure being built around it right now, Dubai South, is in early construction. Properties in that corridor today are priced at a fraction of what they will be when the airport is operational. The investors making money on this are already in. The ones who will be The investors making money on this are already in. The ones who will be frustrated in 2 years are the ones watching this video right now and waiting. Ras Al Khaimah Wind Resort is opening a $5.1 billion integrated resort in Iraq in early 2027. It will be the first licensed gaming and hospitality resort in the Arabian Gulf. Property values in Iraq moved 20 to 35% in 2024 alone, before a single room has been checked into. That's the pre-announcement effect. The opening effect is still to come. Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's Yas Island. Disney confirmed. Disney has officially confirmed Disneyland Abu Dhabi, scheduled to open between 2030 and 2032. SeaWorld is already operational. Ferrari World is already there. Yas Island is being built into one of the most visited tourist corridors in the world. Off-plan properties in and around the corridor right now are priced per Disney. Off-plan properties in and around the corridor right now are priced per Disney. One more thing, and this is specific to right now. The recent Iran-related tensions created a brief momentum of hesitation in the market. Some buyers paused, some launches slowed, and developers, particularly across Dubai South, Riyadh, and Abu Dhabi, responded the way developers always respond when said. One more thing, and this is specific to right now. The recent Iran-related tensions created a brief momentum of hesitation in the market. Some buyers paused, some launches slowed, and developers, particularly across Dubai South, Riyadh, and Abu Dhabi, responded the way developers always respond. Some buyers paused, some launches slowed, and developers, particularly across Dubai South, Riyadh, and Abu Dhabi, responded the way developers always respond when Some buyers paused, some launches slowed, and the developers, particularly across Dubai South, Iraq, and Abu Dhabi, responded the way developers always respond when sentiment dips. They got flexible. Better payment plans, extended schedules, pricing that reflects the noise, not the fundamentals. The fundamentals did not change. The airport is still being built. The casino is still up. The casino is still opening. Disney is coming. What changed is that you cannot enter. What changed is now you can enter some of these projects at discounts that didn't exist 12 months ago, with more favorable terms from developers who are motivated to move units. That window is short. Once the noise clears, and it always does in this market, those concessions disappear. The question is whether you moving. The question is whether you. The question is whether you. The question is whether you're moving while they're still on the table. That repra- that repricing happen. That repricing happens once. None of these are speculative. They're permanent. None of these are speculative. They're permitted, funded, and under active construction. The question isn't whether these areas will appreciate. They will. The question is whether you position before or after the market priced them in. Let me be straight about something. I'm not an influencer. I don't run courses. I don't sell PDFs and call them strategy. I don't host seminars with motivational stuff. I don't host seminars with motivational slides. I'm the C- I'm the CEO, a businessman, a father raising three kids, and an investor who has his own capital in the same deals I bring to my clients. That last part matters most. When I tell you specific corridor is positioned well, it's because my money is in that corridor. When I say developer has a strong track record, it's because I verified it through the deal decomp. When I say developer has a strong track record, it's because I verified it through the deal decompletion. When I say the developer has a strong track record, it's because I verified it through the deal decompletion database and through clients who have taken delivery. In 25 years, I've been through the Toronto bubble. In 25 years, I've been through the Toronto bubble cycle. I was working in Panama and Miami during the 2008. I've seen what the manufactured market looks like. I've seen good people lose money because they trusted promotional material instead of verified data. What I built at Totality Real Estate isn't promotional. It's the same system I use for my own family's capital. Most international investors who come to Dubai or buy from a broker they found online follow the same broken process. They chase a hot tip. They speak to a broker who tells them everything is extraordinary. They buy based on a render and the developer's projected yield. They don't know the developer's actual completion rate. They don't they don't know the real supply pipeline not su- they don't know the real supply pipeline in that submarket. They don't know what compatible deliveries units are actually ranking for. 6 months later, they are holding an asset that's delayed. 6 months later, they're holding an asset that's delayed, harder to rent than promised, and impossible to exit without a loss. I see this constantly. These are smart people. The problem isn't them. The, the problem isn't them. It's the process or the lack of one. The totality process. The totality process points before a single recommendation. Every property we recommend, every property we recommend goes through 42 verification points before we show it to a client. Developer's completion history against DLD records. Escrow account structure. Are construction payments actually tied to milestones? Supply to demand ratio in that specific submarket. Proximity to confirmed infrastructure catalysts. Rental yield modeling against compatible delivered and rented units, not projections. Actual. Exit, exit liquidity. Is there a secondary market? And what does resale volume look like? We call the output of this process deal score. Every property gets graded A through F. A grade. A grade means strong fundamentals across all 42 points. F grade means we don't. A grade means strong fundamentals across all 42 points. F grade means we don't show it. Most of what's available in any given week doesn't make it past the filter. The cash flow blueprint. Every recommendation comes with a full financial model. Down payment, payment plan schedule tied to construction milestones, projected net rental income after service charges and management fees, resale value modeling at 24, 36, and 60 months, based on compatible transactions, not developer's forecast. You don't go into a deal wondering. You go into a deal end-to-end. You don't go into a deal wondering. You go into knowing. End-to-end execution. Financial assessment in 7 to 10 days. First rent collected 30 to 45 days post-handover. We handle property selection, snagging, furnishing, listing 10. We handle property selection, snagging. We handle property selection, snagging. We handle property selection, snagging, furnishing, listing, tenant placement, and ongoing management. You don't need to be in Dubai. You don't need to take a single flight. The work happens here, the return hits your account. Book a strategy call. The link is below this video. Takes 3 minutes. Book a strategy call. Link is directly below this video. It only takes 3 minutes. The system works when the process is clean. Percentage is a down payment. What's the total exposure? Fair question. Let me be precise, because this is where most retail investors get it wrong, and where institutional money has been quietly taking advantage for years. Right now, because of current market conditions, we're finding properties below $250,000 with total down payment of $25,000 to $50,000. The rest is structured across a payment plan, typically 30/70, 35/65, 40/60, and 50/50, meaning you pay 30% to 40, meaning you pay 30 to 50% during construction and the remaining 50 to 70% on handover or spread it after it. Fair question. Let me be precise, because this is where most retail investors get it wrong, and where institutional money has been quietly taking advantage for years. Right now, because of the current market condition, we're finding properties below $250,000 with a total down payment of $25,000 to $50,000. The rent is structured. The rest is structured across a payment plan, typically 30/70, 35/65, 40/60, or 50/50, meaning you pay 30 to 50% during the construction and the remaining 50 to 70% on handover or spread after it. Some developers are going further. Post handover payment plans where you receive the keys, you asset in your name, tenanted, generated rent, and you're still paying off the remaining balance over the next 18 to 24 months. Some developers are going further. Post handover payment plans where you receive the keys, your asset in your name, tenant and generate. Some developers are going further. Post handover payment plans where you receive the keys, your asset in your name, tenanted, generated rent, and you're still paying off the remaining balance over the next 18 to 24 months. You're collecting yield on a property you don't yet fully own. That's not a retail product. That's the structural institutional That's the structure institutional investors use. These the difference the difference is the difference is the difference is they have known this for years, and most individual investors haven't, because no one explained it to them. Here's what actually means. Here's what actually. Here's what that actually means for your capital. $50,000 control a $200,000 to $250,000 asset from day one. The capital gain on that full value. The capital. The capital gain on that full asset value. And right now we're targeting deals with 40 to 60% appreciation potential over the whole period. Goes entirely to you. The leverage is built into the deal structure, no bank required at every step. Here's what that actually means for you. Here's what that actually means for your capital. $50,000 controls a $200,000 to $250,000 asset from day one. The capital gain on the full asset value, and right now we're targeting deals with 40 to 60% appreciation potential over the whole period. Goes entirely to you. The leverage is built into the deal structure. No bank required at entry. And the current market conditions, the brief period, the hesitation created by the regulator. And on the current market conditions, the brief period of hesitation created by the regulator. And on the current market conditions, the brief period of hesitation created by the regional Iran situation has pushed developers to sharpen their pencils further. Better discounts, more flexible schedules, 4% deal and transfer tax waivers, entry entry points that weren't available 12 months ago. The fundamentals behind these projects haven't moved. The pricing has. That gap is the opportunity. Compare that to Toronto, where 50,000 doesn't get you off the qualification. Now compare that to Toronto, where $50,000 doesn't get you off a qualification waiting list, or Sydney, where it barely covers stamp duty. In Dubai, that same capital gives you a real position, a deeded asset, a rental yield of 5 to 8%, and a 2-year renewable investor visa that stays valid as long as you hold the property. No minimum income, no employer sponsors, just the asset. That's not just a return. That's not just a return on investment. For a lot of our clients, it's a return on their entire financial and personal structure. Neither had Neither had most of my clients before their first deal. That's not a disadvantage. It's exactly why a verified process matters. You don't need to know you don't need to know the market. You don't need to know the market. You need access to someone who does, and a methodology you can independently verify. Every recommendation we make, every recommendation we make comes with a full due diligence pack. Developer's background from DLD records, project timeline analysis, submarket supply data, compatible rental yields from actual transactions, and a direct line to me in everything, and a direct line to me if anything needs challenging. And a direct line to me if anything needs challenging. We have clients in Vancouver, London, Singapore, Sydney, people who have never seen Dubai property in person and generating yields their local markets couldn't produce. The due diligence happens here. The transparency comes to you. I want to give you a real answer on this because the promotional version of Dubai's real estate doesn't talk about risk. I do. Oversupply is a legitimate risk in any market, and Dubai has hard supply cycle, and Dubai has had supply side, and Dubai has oversupply is a legitimate risk in any market, and Dubai has had supply cycle before 2008, 2014 were both painful. I was watching this market during both. I know what those corrections look like and what drove them. What's structurally different in this cycle? Demand is not speculative. What's structurally different in this cycle? Demand is not speculative. UAE population grew 8.6% in 2023 alone. Dubai's population is projected to reach 7 million by 2040, up from roughly 4 million today. Dubai's population is projected to reach 7 million by 2040, up from roughly 4 million today. That's in Dubai's 2040 Urban Master Plan, a government planning document, not a developer's forecast. The demand side is structural. On a specific on the specific corridor, on the specific corridors I focus on. On the specific corridors I focus on, Dubai South, Dubai Islands, Ras Al Khaimah, Yas Island in Abu Dhabi, demand is anchored by confirmed funded infrastructure. The appreciation, the appreciation thesis isn't dependent on the general market sentiment. It's tied to airports, resorts, and theme parks that are being built right now with government. The appreciation thesis isn't dependent on the general market sentiment. It's tied to airport, appreciation thesis isn't dependent on general market sentiment. It's tied to airports, resorts, and theme parks that are being built right now with government committed capital. Oversupply in those specific submarkets is also screened. Oversupply in those specific submarket is also screened for in the Dubai scores. Oversupply in this Oversupply in these specific submarkets is also screened for in the deal score system. That's exactly half of what the filter is built to. This is exactly half. This is exactly what the filters is built to catch. I won't tell you that. I won't tell you there's no risk. There's always a risk in real estate, like in any asset class. But the risk profile of a well-selected Dubai asset in 2026 is structurally better than the risk profile of stagnant UK flat or a declining no. But the risk profile of a well-selected Dubai asset in 2026 is structurally better than the risk profile of stagnant UK flat or a declining Canadian condo, both of which carry risks without the upside. If you're ready to look at specific deals, book a call below. I'll walk you through what's available right now. So here's where we are. You come. So here's where we are. You came into this video with a question. Maybe a con- you came into this video with a question. Maybe conscious, maybe not. Something like, is there a better way to deploy this capital? Is Dubai and the EU actually what people are saying? You came into this video with a question. Maybe conscious, maybe not. Something like, is there a better way to deploy this capital? Is Dubai and the UAE actually what people are saying it is, or it's a noise? I've tried to give you a real answer. The data, the specific catalysts, the process we use to filter deals, the tax structure, the objections, and what I actually think about them. I'm not asking you to make a decision right now. I'm asking you to have a conversation. Below this video, there's a link to book a strategy call directly with me or a senior member of my team. It's not a sales call. We don't do pitch deck. We don't pressure you to move on the day. What happens on that call is we talk about your situation, capital available, what you are currently holding, your investment goals, and your timeline. We look at what's actually available right now that scores A to we look at what's actually available right now that scores A or B on your we'll, we look at what's actually available right now that scores A or B on our system. We'll model the numbers for you. We'll model the numbers for your specific position. If it makes sense, we'll talk about the next steps. If it doesn't, for any reason, I'll tell you that too. I'm not in the business of putting capital into deals that aren't right for the person holding it. But if you are serious about making your capital work harder in a market that's tax-free, structurally growing, and backed by infrastructure investment in the tens of billions, then the conversation is worth having. The window I've described isn't permanent. Dubai South, Dubai Islands, Ras Al Khaimah, Yas Island, these opportunities exist at the price point because of the infrastructure isn't complete yet. That repricing happens on a schedule you cannot control. What you can control is whether you're positioned before. What you can control is whether you're positioned before it or after it. This is not a course. It's not a community. It's not a webinar series. It's a direct conversation to see see if we can help you make a real move. Again, I'm Bear Mitchell, CEO of Totality Real Estate. I invest in this market, I live in this market, I raise my family in this market. If the numbers I have shown you today make sense to you, fill out the form, let's talk. Thank you for your support. Tomorrow, I have a special guys. I have partnered with two companies in Dubai, providing guys. Guys, I have exciting news. I have partnered with two platforms in the UAE that provide fractional real estate investment opportunities for somebody who can't afford to purchase an entire property. The investment is under $50,000, and I can't wait to share it with you. Stay tuned.